says recording is in progress. We are good to go. If anybody has any questions during public comments, you'll be able to click your name on the right-hand side and put up your hand. Everybody will be recognized that has their hand up during their time. You'll have your 5 minutes to speak. I have a timer over here which will follow. I'll unmute you and I'll let you know that you've been unmuted, and then you can feel free to converse. And after the 5 minutes, we'll turn the microphone off. We'll keep going in that fashion. All right, Mary, you're good to go.
Okay. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of the 2020 meeting dates were posted online, published in the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Easton Express Times on January 9th, 2020, and posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. Action may now be taken. Please join me in the flag salute.
Good flag.
I pledge allegiance to the
Pledge
flag
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
To the republic,
and to the republic
one nation.
for which it stands, one nation, under God indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll work on our synchronization for the next meeting. Roll call.
Columbus.
Here.
Barry.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Strange.
Here.
Zappa.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, as I did the last meeting 2 weeks ago, our first WebEx meeting, I want to open the meeting with an update or some comments that I prepared. As of this evening, the number of positive cases of COVID-19 in the state has grown to 47,437 people, with 1,504 COVID-related deaths. In Hunterdon County, we have 255 positive cases and 2 COVID-related deaths. Age ranges between age 2 to 100. Highbridge itself has 8 positive cases, and our thoughts are with each of these individuals and their families. I would like to invite the community and all of council right now to join me in a moment of silence for all of our neighbors, all of our New Jersey neighbors who have been taken or have lost a loved one to this virus, and who further suffer by not being able to properly say goodbye or to mourn together with families and friends. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Some updates from a call I had this afternoon with the county. There are plans for a joint testing facility between Somerset and Hunterdon counties at Raritan Valley Community College. This facility must be sustainable, meaning it needs to have adequate personnel, testing kits, personal protection equipment, and law enforcement before they're able to open. The county will keep us notified as this process moves forward, and they continue to ask for personal protective equipment, PPE donations. The form and contact information is available on the county website. Effective last night, in keeping with the governor's executive order, the state and county parks, including the Columbia Trail, are closed since proper social distancing measures were not being maintained and crowds have been forming in these areas. Highbridge has closed off the parking lot at the Commons Park and will only allow those with municipal parking permits to park in the area. We have updated our administrative order to reflect the closing of the Commons lot and the Nassau Springside trails. I want to alleviate some confusion right now. The municipal parks themselves in the borough will remain open at this time. However, as we've stated in the PSA, the fear is that people will start crowding these areas and proper social distancing will be impossible. If that is to occur, we have no choice but to close these areas as well. It's an unfortunate fact that the misdeeds of a few have resulted in the closing of these areas to us all, and we ask for everyone's cooperation in adhering to these orders. Our police department has been busy fielding calls from residents concerned about groups forming in various areas of the borough. As a reminder, if you see something that you feel necessary to report, please don't call 911. Call the local number at 908-638-6500. A reminder that our best option in flattening the curve and reducing the spread of this virus is to stay home. This has been easy, and I think it's safe to say there are many of us out there tonight watching who have moved to Highbridge specifically for its open space and trail access. The fact is that social distancing has been proven to be the only effective way of slowing the spread of this virus, and we need to do our part. God willing, it's only temporary. Today, Governor Murphy announced that if it's absolutely necessary to go out for grocery shopping or other essential needs, you must wear a mask. There are several residents in Highbridge who have been making masks to donate to area hospitals, and they have offered to provide anyone in the borough who needs one. Please call Borough Hall or send me an email or reach out to a member of council so we can help get them safely to you and your families. Once again, I would like to thank the Highbridge Office of Emergency Management, all of our first responders, DPW, and the staff at Borough Hall. These men and women continue to be properly protected and safe. Lastly, and before the meeting begins, I would like to wish everyone who is celebrating tonight a happy Passover and celebrating this weekend a happy Easter. I know the places of worship within the borough have been tuning in from their safety of their own home. Thank you. On to some proclamations. Proclamations. As we have Arbor Day and Earth Day. Arbor Day is the holiday which was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Now, therefore, let Borough Council of the Borough of Highbridge that we do hereby proclaim Friday, April 24th, 2020 as Arbor Day. Secondly, we have a proclamation in support for Earth Day. In 1970, U.S. Senator Gaylord Nelson created Earth Day. It was first held in the United States on April 22nd, the birthday of J. Sterling Gordon, the founder of Arbor Day. The first Earth Day leads to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of the Clean Air, Clean Water, and Endangered Species Act. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Borough Council of the Borough of Highbridge that we do hereby proclaim Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020 as Earth Day in the Borough of Highbridge. Reading out loud, not my strong point. Next, let's move on to the motion to dispense with the reading of the March 26th regular minutes.
Move.
Or second?
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Motion to approve the March 26th, 2020 regular minutes.
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay.
Introduction of ordinances. We have ordinance 2020-024
We have
appropriating.
Will we be doing public comments or no?
Oh, I'm sorry. Skipped over it. Sorry. Yes, we are doing
That's all right.
public comments. I think that's very important. It is the policy of the Borough Council that all public comments on an issue be limited to 5 minutes per person, and no person may make more than one comment per subject. No debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to mayor and council at the public microphone. Any public comments? Gordon?
Gordon, yes, two things. Can you give an update on the McDonald Street repair?
Excellent question. I can, as a matter of fact. The McDonald Street repair is scheduled to begin on Monday. Today is, you probably have seen, there was an executive order regarding construction, essential construction. I was on a call with the governor's office this afternoon, and it was determined that these type of municipal projects, emergency infrastructure, utility work, are considered essential, and that will move forward as scheduled.
That's great. And I have a follow-up concerning savings to the borough concerning the golf course. One, have we terminated the current GPS support contract for an annual savings of over $8,000?
George, do you have an answer to that question? I'm not sure that we have.
And the second part of that is, have we entered into a contract for the new fleet of carts for an annual savings of over $15,000?
We did do the contract for the golf courts, the golf carts. George, can you hear me? Do you know that if we did anything with the GPS?
I believe we just need to roll out the GPS app itself, but yeah, that's what the game plan is. I have a follow-up call with Jay tomorrow to see where we're at with that. Being that the golf course is closed right now, we haven't had a meeting in a bit, but I do have a call with Jay tomorrow.
Right. I was just, we're gaining no revenue, so I'm just looking for savings.
Yep, great idea.
It is in the works as far as I know, and the new golf carts are supposed to be due in the week of the 16th to the 21st.
Yeah, this month.
Really? They're
Yeah.
still manufacturing. Thank you very much for your information.
I'm sorry, Gordon, can you please state your last name for the record for me?
Yes, it's Gordon Marks.
Thank you.
On Hillcrest Lane.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? You just need to raise your hand on your right side of the screen, right, Adam?
Correct. You'd hover over your name and you'd be able to select raise your hand. And I don't see any at this time. Oh, I see one from Linda DeMarzo. Hold on one moment.
I just have a question. Linda DeMarzo, 67 Church Street. Just a follow up on that. Are the new cart contracts, are they gas or electric?
Air gas.
Their gas, Linda, you may have missed a meeting not too long ago, maybe a month ago. We really wanted to get those electric carts, but they were just cost prohibitive at this time. We just couldn't do it. Believe me, I made George, Bonnie, Jay, Billy Casper Golf, look at it 10 different ways. Just couldn't make it happen this year, unfortunately.
Is the contract just for a year? How long is it for?
5 years, George?
I believe it's 5 or 6 years. Is it 5 or 6?
I think it might be 6 years.
I want to say 6.
Yeah.
So the hope there
Okay.
too is that, the cost on the electric vehicles might come down during that time because technology keeps moving forward. And we do have the option of exiting that contract early, maybe
Okay,
a
good.
year or so early if necessary. Anything you want to add, George? I'm not.
No, you hit the nail on the head. It's those lithium-ion batteries are very, very expensive right now, and the thought is you're going to go with the gas right now, and as technology improves, down the road, that our next fleet would hopefully be able to go to electric. So, some cost savings going with gas right now.
Yeah, they were like $30,000 a year more expensive, so couldn't do it. Any other questions? Public comments?
I see Marie Furka has a hand up.
Hi, how are you? It's me. It's my
Hello.
husband and I are both here together, so it's Marie and Joe Furka. Are we allowed to comment about the parks being closed or anything like that, or is that not for this forum?
No, of course. Comment away. You have 5
Okay.
minutes.
Okay, my 5 minutes are, I am extremely upset and extremely I know it's not your decision, but I guess you could decide if the Columbia Trail was closed. Is that correct?
That's not correct. It's a county trail. So it's in line with the governor's orders as of yesterday that state and county parks need to be closed.
Sorry, you're frozen.
I'm sorry, you were frozen when you were speaking, so can you repeat that?
Sure. The Columbia Trail is a county park.
Mm-hmm.
So they were required by the state's executive order yesterday, or the governor's executive order yesterday, to close that area.
All right. Did we as a town have any feedback or input into the county decision? Or they
No.
are completely
well, I mean,
outside of that?
I'll be honest, we have a call weekly with the county freeholders. I was on that call this afternoon. I actually personally support the decision to close the trail only because the overcrowding that we were seeing both in the commons lot and on the trails themselves were not, you couldn't possibly maintain a safe social distance during certain times of the day. Certainly not 24 hours, but I've heard from a lot of residents both in support and against the closing of the trail. I think it's unfortunate. I know we all use it, and I'd like to think the majority of us use it very responsibly, but it was not my choice to close the trail, although they were receiving my feedback that it was becoming problematic for the borough because we were getting many, many people from out of town crowding in the Commons lot and along Main Street and Church Street to gain access to that trail.
Well, in terms of the parking lot or the crowding, we see really no difference whatsoever between parking in the Commons lot and parking at ShopRite to get your groceries. I mean, there's only certain things that you can do in terms of keeping, I don't know, automobiles 6 feet away from each other. I don't know. And in terms of handling localized issues of people not abiding by the strictures of social distancing, it seems a complete overreach to close everything down because a handful of people can't follow, the regulations. What we should be doing is handling those issues locally and handling those people who are not abiding by social distancing and dealing with them as opposed to a blanket, in our opinion, overreach of shutting everything down for everybody just because a handful of people, for whatever reason, aren't able to abide by the strictures. It just seems to be overreach. And we should not, especially in a time of crisis, subject ourselves to any type of, overreach from a government perspective. And, our last comment would be on the idea, which you may, Mayor Lee, put in your email, that if we see people not abiding by the regulations, we should call police, is absolutely terrifying. To see something like that from an elected official, whether it's you, whether it's governor, whether it's the mayor of Los Angeles, in the United States of America, to see something like that other citizens should be paying attention to what other citizens are doing. Neighbor against neighbor is exactly the opposite of what we should be doing here. Exactly the opposite. And I'm very, very concerned that when we come out of this, and we will come out of it, what that really, means for us in terms of our liberty, not only for ourselves, but for our children as the next, pandemic comes, and it will come at some point. How are we going to respond? And it's just, we're greatly, greatly concerned and disappointed that our elected officials are saying citizens spy on other citizens and call the police when you see them not doing what they shouldn't be doing.
And furthermore, just the same, in the same token, I've been on that trail every single day since the shutdown. I've been on the trail for hours every single day. I have seen no instances of people where it's not families families riding their bikes, getting together, picking flowers, doing, like, finding all this stuff and doing stuff together. And it was the one solace we had, the one place where we could go and enjoy that time. And the fact that cars are parked
I'm
next to
sorry.
each other.
That's 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Indian Spring Lane,
Yeah, 32 Indian Spring Lane.
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate that the municipal parks themselves, Union Forge, Lake Solitude, the Commons Park, they're still open for passive recreation, meaning you can still walk through there, you can still run, you can still take your family for a bike ride if that's what you want to do. And I agree. It's, I don't want to say it's overreach just because we're in a unique situation that none of us have ever been before. It doesn't make me feel good to be the one telling people or any residents in the borough that these areas are closed. But we're trying to make sure that we can keep the other areas in the borough open to use for passive activities, keep things moving, not for picnics, not for gathering, but to keep me moving through. We have lots of quiet streets that you can continue to use. And again, hopefully, as you also seem to agree, this is temporary and we're going to get through it. People around the state are dying, hundreds of people a day. And it's alarming to me too on that level. So, we just have to try to keep this all into perspective. And I appreciate that when you're on the trail, you don't necessarily see that. But I also have heard from many residents who do see the crowding. And you can look on Facebook, both in our own county and Morris County Facebook pages, people complaining about the crowding on the Columbia Trail. So I don't know if anyone else wants to add anything to that. Council.
We have to make the best decisions we can. The Columbia Trail and the state parks are not up to us. We don't have any say in that. They're not our jurisdiction. Our parks and our roads and we have to make the best decision we can as a government body. And it's never going to be perfect, but we got to do the best we can to encourage people to be safe. If people are angry at us, at you, Mayor Lee, that's fine. People aren't always happy with what we do, but we got to do the best we can, and that's see how it falls out.
I have a question pending from Kristen Evans. Hold on, Kristen.
Everybody, first and foremost, I hope everybody's doing well and healthy. And I just have a quick question about, of course, the Columbia Trail. How are they going to enforce residents from staying off of it?
So it's going to be very difficult to enforce. Right now, the state park rangers are going to be out there as best as they can. But it's a 11, 12 miles from here to Long Valley. They're not going to be patrolling that daily, hourly, minute by minute. So it is going to be difficult to enforce, and that's why we just have to ask people to, try to adhere as best they can to what the rules are. It's because people were not paying attention to social distancing. They were still gathering in groups, and it's because that all of these parks had to be closed down.
Okay,
And the virus spreads very quickly from person to person, and it's really the only option at this time.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to ask.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
I think that is it for this round. I have some people with hands up, but they have spoken, so I think we're good to go.
Okay. Now on to introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 2020-024, appropriating an additional $80,354 from the grant fund for Streetscape Phase 2. Motion to introduce ordinance 2020-024.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
So Bonnie, correct me if I'm wrong, but we did receive an additional $80,354 grant for the Streetscape Fund 2, and this is it's a refundable grant. Or what's the word I'm looking for?
It's free.
Okay, so we pay it up front and they pay us back, basically.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
because the cost of the construction turned out to be higher than was originally anticipated, we applied for additional funding and they did agree to give us more.
Okay,
And it
great.
is a reimbursement.
Thank you, Chris. That's the word I was looking for. Great. Okay, ordinance 2020-024 shall be
Mayor.
published.
Hold on, I just need you to read the statement there about posting of the ordinance if you could.
I was just about to.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2020-024 shall be published in its entirety in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of April 23rd, 2020. On to the consent agenda. We have resolution -114-2020 through resolution 117-2020. One thing I thought we could talk about real quick, well, we can talk about any of these items, but it was brought to our attention regarding Mike Steinwan's resignation that, and maybe Rick is on the phone too. He can add some detail to this, or Bonnie can, that due to the paid time off and sick days he still has on file, it's kind of forcing him to come back to work. Is that correct?
Just 1 second, Mayor. We haven't done a rice notice to be able to discuss this at this point. We didn't give him the option. It was simply a consent agenda item.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's aware he had submitted it and it was here, but we probably would want to hold some discussion at this point.
Okay, so we'll add that to the next council meeting then.
You could make a motion to table, yes.
Well, we're still going to accept his resignation, correct?
Fine, that's fine as well, yeah.
Council, any comments or feedback on that one?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Mike's employment other to say that, he's been with us since 2014. And, he's been a very hardworking, valuable member of the DPW and, always willing to do his part and step up when stuff needed to get done. I mean, we're going to miss him. We really are. So, thank you for your service, Mike. And you're going to be tough to replace.
Also on the consent agenda is the resolution to join the Hunterdon Area Energy Cooperative. Did any council members have any thought before we move to approve the consent agenda?
I don't specifically. I think we have, if we want to discuss items on the consent agenda, I think we have to pull them first, don't we?
Yeah, we should do that, Mayor.
I don't have any discussion about it, so I'm not saying we need to, but I think if someone wants to have a discussion about it, we're supposed to pull that out of the consent agenda so we can discuss it.
Yeah,
okay.
The way that Barry has explained it is that if it's simply an overview of something you're doing, it may not be necessary to pull it out. But if you do want to have sort of a substantive conversation that may be talking about, items that may have people consider or try to change their mind or add a significant amount of detail, you may want to amend it to remove it from the consent agenda, vote on the consent agenda, and then open the discussion about the resolution.
Okay, so let me rephrase then. Would anyone like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Okay. Motion to approve the consent agenda, resolution 114-2020 through resolution 117-2020.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
Zappa.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. On to legal issues. As I mentioned, our attorney, Barry Goodman, is celebrating Passover this evening and couldn't join us for this call, so I'm going to assume we don't have any legal issues. Communications. Adam.
At the council meeting.
We have listed the resignation letter from Michael Steinwand, the monthly tax and finance reports, the monthly zoning report, which is always very enlightening. I think Bonnie has more information about the DEP permit item as well as the Chapter 159.
The Chapter 159 has to do with the ordinance we approved, which was just recognizing the additional money for the grant for streetscape. And the other is just for permitting, which is going on across the street from Borough Hall at 100 West Main Street. That was already authorized previously.
Okay.
Okay, great. Bill list, approval of the bill list. Adam,
We have $332,210.88 in total.
motion to approve the bill list.
Move.
Second,
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
Zappa.
yes.
Great. Just before we close, I just want to reiterate, closing these parks, closing the trail, which was again, the county decision that I support, doesn't come easy for any of us, elected officials, residents, kids, nothing. Doesn't come easy for any of us. And I just hope that we all try to just, get by these next few weeks as best we can with our sanity intact, hopefully, when all this is said and done. And if there's no further business, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second,
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
Zappa.
yes.
Okay.
Council meeting Thursday, April 23rd, 2020, 7:30, WebEx, people. We're here. And everyone enjoy your holiday weekend and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Too.
You.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good evening, all.
You too, Steve. Everybody.
You're not all. I keep trying to.